So it's a lot of stuff that needs to be actually prepared. And ICT, it's absolutely embedded and it's central to everything that we actually do in terms of technological advancement and development. Because modeling, simulation, transmission, calculation, control, all that is part and parcel of the ICT. It's not just the administrative functions of ICT. So the market is changing as well in terms of, if you look at the pipeline coming through the schools, what are the expectations of the kids coming from the schools, and how do we energize and actually grow that level of expectation to take us to the next stage? What role the colleges should play in there? The workforce, we have phenomenal program of development and upskilling that we need to embrace, quick, just-in-time delivery, recognized and incremental. And of course, there is the employer requirement in terms of providing all this sort of support. So what role could colleges play in the future? I think in the emerging technologies, we talked about mobile technologies, but tell me how many actually classrooms interact with mobile technologies with their students in a collaborative and open learning manner? Hands up. Right, that's the answer. So I think we need to think about that quite seriously, not just talk about it in presentations. We actually think about strategies to intrigue, to interact, and just because in a pole position to address some of these things. Fantastic research we've done, and we can actually push, and we have phenomenal research background in the open innovation that we could translate back into the classroom and take advantage of that. So without over-laboring the point, I think that's really the point I wanted to think about. But how many also colleges, when you have brand new buildings, nice walls, nice seatings, how many people actually think about what the learning space might look like for the future? If you can't visit the US, then perhaps you can have a look at some of the MIT development. Again, I was absolutely amazed to see some of the developments I saw a couple of weeks ago in Abu Dhabi in some of the centers for advanced technology development. These technical colleges, they are not universities, technical colleges, and how they approach the learning space to exercise all the sensory systems of the learner, to tap into the various learning styles of the individuals. I'm not an educationalist really, I'm an industrialist, but I know I know how to learn, and my learning style is different from everybody here, and every individual has a different learning style. How do you actually maximize that potential for the individual? Culture is an issue for me. We just taken over this Reading College in Berkshire, and you talk to the academics and the lecturers, they're all sort of, it's not my job, it's somebody else's job, and all that sort of crap. Let's actually focus on the issues that where do you want to be? Where do you want to head? And that vision has to be absolutely shared by everybody from the top. I'm not just the principal, I'm the facilitator, I'm the glue that brings everybody together to move and mobilize and galvanize the individuals to move ahead. Narrowcasting, we talk about narrowcasting education and personalizing the education. How many colleges actually looked into the data mining, linking the CRM system to learners as well as to companies, to be able to have that interlink in terms of, this is a key problem at Dell. Can I share that problem with my students? Can I actually turn this into a problem-solving exercise where I can actually provide some solutions to the company? Think about these sort of opportunities. So there are challenges here for the technical college of the future, but I think this college here particularly has a phenomenal opportunity to achieve from what I read about it and from what I heard this morning. So looking at the needs, we need to address some of these aspects which I already sort of covered in my discussion, so I'm not going to elaborate on those any further. But some of the barriers, I think it is important to turn some of these barriers into opportunities. Looking at the mixed economy sort of approach is a real opportunity for colleges. The light sort of touch inspection, what does that actually mean to me as an institution, as an individual, as a learner? And I think we need to look at that and turn it to incremental, to an enhancement process rather than a sort of an audit trail process. And I think that's a fundamental shift in the mindset of our governors, of our political leaders, and indeed of us as teachers and professionals. again, looking at the records, now every student will have a record associated with him or her, and how do you actually manage that in the context of personalized learning? So there is an opportunity that you could turn around here in terms of leveraging some of these chores, perhaps, into sort of clear opportunities. Sounds 1990s crap, but you can actually think about it in the context of real opportunities. But innovation, and a real plea here, when I look at every strategy in colleges, the colleges I'm associated with, and they are medium-sized colleges, and some of them are in the top. But innovation and professionalism doesn't seem to appear as part and parcel of the real ethos and real feeling of the institution. We need that to be a key driver, a central piece because that innovation will drive the entrepreneurism, will drive everything behind the institution. So there is a new role for colleges. All that stuff here in terms of moving into the modern world needs to happen, but you need to get your house in order basically before moving into that sort of facilitating role, a knowledge transfer center, not an educational center. So it's a different characteristics here that need to be embraced. An interesting example at Flybe in the Southwest again, where the colleges came together with Flybe to actually create a center for delivering training in engineering, where you actually see, for example, the cutting-edge requirements from business and industry, and you can see the interoperability, if you like, between the staff from Exeter College, Yeovil College, and other colleges in the region, as well as the universities, interacting, and you can actually differentiate between the Flybe staff and the colleges staff and universities in that region. And they're delivering the programs, they're delivering the training that the company requires. Now it's opened up to other companies, not just Flybe. Other aerospace and aeronautical engineering type of companies are actually leveraging this, including other engineering firms leveraging this collaboration. Marshall Aerospace is another example of this. JCB Academy is another example of this. So I think you've got an opportunity here with Dell and other technology-based companies to develop a form of, it doesn't have to be bricks and mortar, but could be a form of a virtual development. I mentioned the word knowledge and technology transfer. It needs to be a raison d'etre of really all the colleges in the future. And I think you could steal the march on the universities in terms of focusing on near market and applied research sort of activities, particularly around the knowledge and technology transfer, working with small businesses. So the key message for me is it's about reinventing, continually reinventing the institution. You can't stand still. I remember sort of saying Luke Gerstner, who's the chief executive of IBM when I was working there in the 90s, he said it's just like changing the wheel on a car whilst the car is still driving. So it's actually, that's the sort of thing that you have to, unfortunately, embrace, that sort of mindset, and to be cognizant of all the sort of different influencing factors, whether they are national, international, or indeed local. New technologies represent great opportunities, not just as a technologist that believe in this, but actually this is the way of life. Andrew knows my father was in hospital recently, suffered from heart problems, and actually the surgeons and the people there in the hospital tried on him different new technologies that haven't tried before, and they took my permission and his permission to see if that's okay. And that was absolutely fantastic in terms of, and ICT was the center of it because everything was being transmitted. He was remotely connected to the hospital all the time, and everything was actually transmitted to the hospital back 2 weeks after he left the hospital. And I thought, well, that's fantastic. It gives him the confidence, and the confidence means he can recover much quicker, but it also gives the opportunity to the professional medical people to monitor his condition constantly. So what we're doing about this as an organization, very, very briefly, we're doing a lot of work in this sort of area in terms of advocacy and pushing change at government level. We certainly pioneered the changes in the area of knowledge and technology transfer that resulted in a fundamental change in policy to embrace, to enable colleges to embrace knowledge and technology transfer through the third leg funding. The Hive was announced yesterday again that £150 million has been allocated, ring-fenced for knowledge and technology transfer. Colleges must play that role. If you just say, oh, this is for the universities, you ain't going to get anything. So please do, and we will work with you if you like to ensure that you'll put applications in that area. It is worth your while looking at the emerging technologies, emerging markets piece of research that will give you heads up in terms of what's happening in the market space. We do support professional development, do put grant applications for us, from us to send people to industry. We run master classes throughout the country in various topical areas, from nanotechnology to wind farms to biotech. So again, do please take advantage of those. There are different forms for developing knowledge and technology transfer, which we have tried and tested across the UK. We established 11 knowledge transfer exchange nodes where companies, colleges, universities come together. And again, we would be more than happy to work with you on developing some of these activities. Innovation is fundamental, but you need to have that level of assurance internally that you can actually present fitness for the purpose to the client. Again, we have developed mechanisms around the assurance capability, which we are doing currently with the nuclear field, but colleges are also now undertaking what we call the STEM Assured to enable cross-disciplinary collaboration between the different scientific disciplines within a college to present themselves in a much more coherent and a comprehensive way to the marketplace. And again, do talk to us about this if you are interested. So thank you very much indeed.